Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the Hoops Hall of Fame podcast. This is Matt Lehner. Today, we're finally going to get into the question that I got asked about what are the good online training programs for basketball and for vertical jump development. I got asked what programs, what trainers are the ones that I should be using, the programs I should be using. So today, we're finally going to delve into that. But first, before I get into that, I want to discuss what makes a good training program when it comes to basketball, like skill training, and what makes a good program when it comes to vertical jump training. First, for basketball, the training program should be game-specific, meaning the drills should be working on aspects that are similar to games, whether that be, high speed. You need to be training at a high speed with, drills that are allowing you to be creative, to react instinctively, to make decisions instinctively that will reflect in how you play in a game. Because when you're playing in a game, you're not just doing, between the legs, one dribble, pull-up jump shot. It's instinctive. Obviously, during your training, you need to work on certain moves. You need to work on certain types of shots, but it's also instinctive. So you want to have drills that are game-specific that are working on those instincts. And the program should also be addressing all facets of your game. So that should be shooting, ball handling, scoring moves, free throws, everything. It should be working on every aspect, not necessarily every workout, but during the course of the training program, however long it is, you should be working on all facets of your game. The training itself should also not be very long. The training session should take anywhere from 45, 60, 90 minutes. Depending on the day, depending on the workout. Some workouts are shorter than others, but you don't want a training program that's, 20 minutes, or you don't want a training program that's taking you 3, 4, or 5 hours to complete in one session. So that's for skill training, the major things that I can give you for skill training, other than obviously the program addressing your individual weaknesses and where you're at in your game. But now let's talk about vertical jump. What makes a good vertical jump program? Well, the program should be focusing primarily on strength training and plyometrics. Those are the two most proven aspects and ways to improve your vertical jump. If you are looking more into this, go back and listen to my podcast on the 4 steps to improving your vertical jump, and I'll get the podcast numbers for you in a second. So go back and listen to those 2 podcasts. Sorry, that was my Dave Baldwin video going there. So podcast number, 25, the 4 steps to improving vertical jump development. Go back and listen to that one. That one will really give you what you need to be focusing on when you're trying to improve your vertical jump. But again, the program should be focusing primarily on strength and plyometrics. And as well, I also did a podcast recently on weight training and how weight training can improve your vertical jump, which is podcast episode number 36. Go back and listen to those 2, 25 and 36. But again, the program should be addressing strength and plyometrics, and it should also be individualized, meaning it should be focusing on the areas that you are weakest in to improve them, to improve your vertical jump. Obviously, if you took an athlete that, was 100 pounds and could only squat 80 pounds and we had him doing a bunch of speed training, jump training, plyometrics, and he was already really fast to begin with, that's not going to help him improve his vertical jump. He needs to be in the weight room getting stronger. On the flip side, if we took an athlete that was, 200 pounds, could squat 400 pounds, and his 40 time was 6 seconds. If we took him and had him squatting 3 times a week, he's not going to improve his vertical jump. He needs to work on his explosiveness, his speed, his reactivity. He needs to be spending time on those aspects, not on weight training. So obviously the program should be individualized to some extent, but again, those are the 2 major keys when it comes to a good vertical jump program. Also, the program when it comes to vertical jump and even skill training as well, it should be focused primarily on quality over quantity. When it comes to vertical jump, we're not, doing 50 reps of an exercise. It depends on the exercise, but more often than not, when it comes to the jump training specifically, we might do 4 sets of 5. We're not going to do 4 sets of 50 on a jump training exercise. It's about quality over quantity. It's about being explosive, max effort every single time you jump. Every single rep is all out, explosive, not about conditioning. It's not about endurance. It's not about pacing yourself. It's about all-out intensity. That's the major key when it comes to vertical jump. So now we're finally going to get into the training programs, the trainers that I found to be the best online, that you can go to their websites, get their programs, and execute them and actually see improvements in your game, in your athletic performance. So let's get into that. First, we're going to do skill training. The number one trainer that I've found online would be Taylor Allen of EliteGuardTraining.com. I've been using his programs for the last 5-6 years now. He's a very knowledgeable guy himself, Taylor Allen is. Nowadays, he's bringing in actual professional trainers to make his programs, guys like Drew Hanlon from Pure Sweat Basketball, Alan Stein from Pure Sweat Basketball, guys who actually train NBA players to make his programs. Taylor has made programs himself back in the day, and they are still very good, but he's focused primarily more so nowadays on the business aspect of it, and he really likes to delve into meditation and different mind training aspects to the game. That's where he's focusing his efforts on, but he's bringing in actual professional trainers to make his programs nowadays, which are very, very good. I've used them myself. Very effective. So Taylor Allen from EliteGuardTraining.com, probably the best trainer for programs, and he has programs for jump training as well, speed, quickness, upper body, skill training. He brings these guys in, they make the programs very effective. So no matter what you're looking for basketball, they got a program for you, probably the best online that you could get. So EliteGuardTraining.com. Number 2, Augie Johnston from Baller Bootcamp. I've used his programs as well. I've tried out every single one, his shooting program, his scoring academy program. I've talked to him on Facebook. I've messaged him a lot. Very nice guy. He played overseas in Germany in a couple other leagues. He started in the lower leagues and worked his way up to the second league, I believe. But a very nice guy. He'll respond to your messages on Facebook. He's a real guy. He makes real programs that work. He has professional experience himself, so he knows the skill that it takes to get to professional basketball, college basketball. He knows what it takes. So very good trainer. All his programs are good. Just go to ballerbootcamp.com. You can check out his programs. A very nice guy, honest guy, knows what he's doing. Obviously, he's played overseas, so check him out. Very great programs. I definitely recommend them. Number 3, Damon Altizer. He's a guy that Taylor Allen has brought in to make some programs as well. He's a very good trainer. He trains professional players. He played D1 in college in the U.S. Very good trainer. I've used a couple of his programs. I haven't actually completed an entire program, but I've used some of his workouts. They're very innovative. A lot of tennis balls, a lot of different types of drills that you don't see a lot from other trainers. So if you're looking for a program that's maybe slightly different from what you're used to doing to really kind of get a different development in your game, then definitely a great programs to check out, great drills to check out, or even just try a few of the drills. Great trainer to listen to. So that's my 3 top trainers and programs for skill development that I've personally used. Obviously, I'm not going to recommend trainers that I haven't tried the programs. Another guy, obviously, would be Dre Baldwin. He has programs at hoophandbook.com. I haven't personally used them myself, but I know Dre Baldwin is a great trainer. He's played overseas himself. He's very knowledgeable. He's creates a ton of content online, on YouTube, on social media. Nowadays, he's doing a lot more on mental training, mental toughness, business, but he has delved a lot into basketball in the past. His programs at Hoop Handbook, I haven't personally checked him out myself, but I know he's a great, honest guy, so I would probably say that you're safe using his programs as well. But those were my top 3 that I've personally used that I could recommend to you guys. Now we're going to get into vertical jump programs. Again, like I said, number 1 is probably Taylor Allen from Elite Guard Training. He brings in guys to make jump training programs. So the guys he brings in, Alan Stein right now, making his jump programs. This guy's trained NBA players like Kevin Durant, Victor Oladipo. Really athletic guys, obviously. He's trained them, so I definitely recommend that. Probably number 1. Number 2 for vertical jump training programs, Jack Woodrup from verticaljumping.com. I've used his programs in the past. I've emailed him a ton over the last 3-4 years. Very nice guy, very knowledgeable guy, very honest guy. He had a program, a software program where you could actually buy it, download it to your computer, do certain tests like strength max test and then some jumping tests. You input them into the software in your program, and it actually makes a program for you based on the areas that you're weakest in, like we talked about before, whether it's strength or speed. And the software would actually make a program for you to work on your weaknesses while maintaining the areas that you were strongest in. I used that software and actually gained probably about 3 inches in 8 weeks quite a few years ago. But he has articles on his website, again, verticaljumping.com, that you can check out. Right now, I believe he's doing personal online training for $10 a month, where you actually sign up, you pay him $10 a month. He'll make you a new program every single month based on the areas that you're weakest in, just like the software did, but it's actually him training you online. He'll have you do certain tests, make a program for you, you do the program, and then after that, the next month, you test again, and he'll make a new program. So for $10 a month for an online trainer, very affordable, probably one of the best offers online right now for a personal trainer for jump training. So again, Jack Woodrup from verticaljumping.com. Again, if you're really just focused on jump training, he's a guy who loves basketball as well, so he kind of knows how to implement it for basketball players. Definitely recommend it. So Jack Woodrup from verticaljumping.com. Number 3, Kelly Baggett. He's a guy that was kind of one of the foremost individuals on online vertical jump training. His website is higher-faster-sports.com. His program for vertical jump was the Vertical Jump Bible. He also made the Vertical Jump Bible 2.0. I personally used the Vertical Jump Bible probably my sophomore year in high school, so this is probably about 6 years ago. He's definitely, again, a guy that I've emailed a lot over the years. Got a lot of my questions answered. Very honest guy, again, very knowledgeable guy when it comes to jump training. So any of his programs would be good. He has articles, again, on that website, higherfastersports.com. I'll include links in this at the bottom of this podcast in the description for you guys, too, for these websites. So if you didn't hear them, didn't catch them, you can go back and listen. Otherwise, check the description. But again, Kelly Baggett, great programs, great guy. Definitely recommend it. Number 4, Boeing Vert. I've used their program. They have some guys that they bring in to make their programs. They actually brought in Kelly Baggett to make a program, which is the one I used. It was called Boeing Vert Monster. It was like an 8-week, or I believe it's a 12-week program, actually. Just focused on getting your vertical jump as high as possible. It was a very good program, very intense program, training 3 times a week. But again, it was very good. They make good programs, solid programs, relatively cheap as well, $20, $30 for a program, for an online program. Very cheap, but very, very effective. Don't be deceived by the price. Sometimes you do get what you pay for, but in this case, you get very good quality programs from very reputable trainers for a cheap price. So again, BoeingVert.com. They make a number of programs. I've used that one by Kelly Baggett, so I can recommend them. I would say they're probably very good programs, every single one that they sell, so I would definitely check it out. And there you guys have it. Those are my top 4 vertical jump training programs and my top 3 skill training programs. I'll run through them one more time for you guys really briefly before we end this podcast. So for skill training, number 1, Taylor Allen from EliteGuardTraining.com. Number 2, Augie Johnston from BallerBootCamp.com. And number 3, Damon Altizer. I'm not actually sure what his website is, but I'll look that up and hopefully get it in the description for you guys. And for vertical jump, again, Elite Guard Training is number 1. Number 2, Jack Woodrup from VerticalJumping.com. Kelly Baggett from higher-faster-sports.com. And Boeing Vert. I believe it's just BoeingVert.com. But again, I'll check that out and put it in the description for you guys. So again, those are my top programs, top trainers for skill training and for vertical jump training. Definitely recommend that you check them all out. Those are the guys that I can recommend. Just really briefly, a program that for vertical jumping that I definitely do not recommend, Air Alert. And again, Air Alert is a program that has you doing hundreds of repetitions, not good for jump training. And some tools that you guys might run into along the way that I definitely have gotten and don't recommend from jumpusa.com. They do sell good things at that website, but a couple of jump training tools that they sell: the jump soles, the strength shoes, the shoes that you put on that have you up on your toes that are supposed to work your calves. Again, is a marketing hype. They don't work. They might help your calf strength, but again, as we talked about in the podcast on jump training, calf strength is not really important for jump training. We want the calves to be bouncy and loose and explosive, not strong. So again, jump soles, don't recommend them. They have the Squat Flex, which is basically a rubber band device that is supposed to mimic the hack squat. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but it costs about $500. It's not worth the money. So don't fall for those gimmicks, those hypes. Solid strength training in the weight room, plyometrics, programs that focus on those areas are the ones that you want to use, like the ones I listed for you guys. And if you follow these trainers' programs, you will see great improvements in your game and your athletic performance. And again, if you have any questions, don't be hesitant to ask me, email me, message me. Let me know what you guys like to hear. As you can see, I'm definitely trying to address every question you guys ask at some point along the line when I feel that it's time. So please leave me your comments, and I'll talk to you again in the next episode of the Hoops Hall of Fame podcast.